Good evening. Tova Felder, 32 Tween Place. I have a lot of things to say. To the young man who admitted to bullying some children himself, I applaud him for making that admission, but that wasn't a problem of not having uniforms. That was a problem of that kid being a jerk. Sorry. Telling kids that they have to all wear the same clothes so that they won't get bullied is like telling girls they can't wear certain clothes so they don't get assaulted. That's not how you fix these problems. You fix assault by teaching people it's not okay to assault women. And you fix bullying problems by teaching your kids it's not okay to pick on other kids. Period. All of that aside, I'm hearing a lot of, I believe this, and I think this, and that's great, and we all have our opinions, but whether you're for or against uniforms, what you believe is not good enough to make a ruling that's going to affect all of Clifton's children. You have to have some actual facts. You have to have something more than, I think this is going to help, or some teachers perceived there to be an improvement in attendance. Those are things that you can put numbers to, and if you don't have the numbers, then there is no point in making this policy. And if you do have the numbers, please share them, because I've asked twice already, what is your basis for proposing uniforms? And I have not heard anything. What I did is I went through, well, first I looked at some neighboring districts that do wear uniforms, and this has been brought up. Patterson, Passaic, Saddlebrook, they all wear uniforms. Their schools are all doing very poorly, even with their uniforms. I don't know why we are looking to these other schools as a model of how to improve our academic performance, and that should be way more important than any perceived improvement in any social things. But what I went is I went and looked at just in Clifton, in our own city, and I went to the New Jersey State report cards for this past year, 2013 and 14, and I made myself a little chart of all of our elementary schools, our academic achievement as compared to other schools statewide, and I looked at the percentage of children in those schools who are economically disadvantaged. And guess what I found? You'll never guess. The 3 lowest performing schools in our district have the highest percentages of economically disadvantaged families. And the 3 highest performing schools have some of the lowest percentages of economically disadvantaged families. The difference between them, our most impoverished school has an 83.3% economically disadvantaged population, and the least is only 25.6%. That difference is enormous. The correlation is indisputable. As poverty in our city increases, academic achievement decreases. It's not because these kids aren't smart. It's not because the teachers are bad. It's because there's a whole host of issues that come along with economic disadvantage. Instead of putting a uniform Band-Aid on this big social problem, let's look at how we can help our struggling families. Let's have more after-school programs to offer homework help to the children who need it. More school communications going home in the languages our families know best. And smaller class sizes so that every child gets the attention she needs. Let's have more clothing and food drives so that none of our children are without these very basic needs. Let's look at and address the real issues instead of hoping for a magical khaki cure. That's what we need to do if we're going to fix this. And finally, for the many families I've heard who are talking about how it would be so much easier and how it would be less of a struggle at home if they could just put their kid in the uniform, I have awesome news for you. Every single person can go out and buy nothing but khakis and red polos and dress your child that way every blessed day. You don't need a school-wide policy. You can do that. And you can do it for as cheaply now as you could do it if there was a policy. But my child should also have the right to wear what I want to put him in and what he wants to wear. You get to choose what you want to wear. I get to choose what I want my child to wear. Thank you.